is Le Cellier the best restaurant at Epcot?
Let's see.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sam.
And you're watching The Theme Park Foodies. We are back at Epcot for part 3 of our 5-part series where we dine at our top 5 favorite Epcot restaurants to see which we think is the best. The restaurants are as follows. This video, all about Le Cellier. We've also previously done Chiqui Sai, La Chef's de France, Space 220 we haven't done yet, and Sen Angel Inn. We have 2 more left after this one. I'm gonna be straight with you. I think this one might be the winner, in my opinion.
So many amazing things here. They have one of the best bread services on property, that famous Canadian cheddar soup, amazing steaks, amazing dessert.
Yeah.
They got a lot going for them.
For those that don't know, Le Cellier is located in the Canada section of World Showcase, not too far from the front of Epcot. I'll show you guys how to get there. It means the cellar, so we'll be dining in a wine cellar. They specialize in steaks, so it's really kind of a steakhouse, and it's like beautifully landscaped as you walk in there. The service has always been on point. It's a little darker in there, so I apologize if the lighting isn't as great during the video. We'll do our best.
It has a very dim, cozy ambiance. It actually opened with Epcot, this restaurant.
Wow.
But it was just a themed wine cellar. It didn't become a full-service restaurant until like the late 90s. But because it was originally a wine cellar, it is on the smaller side. It's not as big as some of the other restaurants, so it is kind of harder to get a reservation, but it's just a very cozy atmosphere. And I can't believe that I forgot to mention the Poutine, because that's another
best
very
poutine
well-known thing
at Walt Disney World, in my opinion. I don't think any of the spots we've been to previously have surprised us on this tour so far. La Chef's de France is about where I thought it'd be. Chiqui Sai, we thought would be great with weak desserts, exactly where that was. I expect this to be exceptional. So the only way this is going to shock us if it is if it isn't as good as we've had previously. They also do have some vegan options, and we have our friend Vicky here who is a vegan. She'll be trying some of those options out for us to let you guys know what she thinks of the vegan options here. Obviously we don't have the vegan palate, so sometimes we're not the best judge of vegan character, but we're going to show you guys how to get there. We're going to dine in their signature dishes, and we're going to see if they are the best restaurant at Epcot. Are you ready, Sam?
I'm so ready.
All right, if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Join us for our dinner at Le Cellier here at Epcot. All right, so Le Cellier might be the easiest restaurant to get to on our list. Literally, if you walk into Epcot, you're going to go through the World Celebration Gardens. You can go right or left of Spaceship Earth. But you go through those gardens, you get to World Showcase. You literally just make a right at World Showcase. Canada is the very first country you'll see to your right. And Le Cellier is marked, and inside the Chateau Laurier, I hope I'm saying that right, which is a famous hotel in the Ottawa region of Canada. You actually have to bear right at the maple popcorn cart. You'll be able to smell that maple popcorn, and you'll see a big sign for Le Cellier as well as Canada far and wide. So you're not actually dining in the Hotel Laurier, you're actually dining in the cellar. It's called the cellar below the Chateau Laurier. And I always love walking through the area here. It's so scenic. There's a little cottage to the right. You can actually access that cottage. You can see the water here. That waterway moves right underneath that bridge. And you can see right there. That's Le Cellier. Le Cellier. All right, so as you walk in right behind the check-in desk, you'll see a large iron gate to the left of that check-in desk, because we'll be walking down in to the cellar. You'll see a lot of, I believe, maple leaves, and all the lights are kind of themed to look like they're melting candles. Obviously not real melting candles. Look at the menu too. The menu's got like kind of a wood aesthetic to it. All right, let's break it down for you guys. I'm probably saying this stuff wrong, but you can see a little story about this restaurant at the top and how the structure is called the Hotel du Canada. And like I said before, how it's based off of the Chateau Laurier. Now you can see what we brought up before, that Canadian cheddar cheese soup is so good here. They also have an artisanal cheese plate, a steakhouse wedge salad, a shrimp cocktail, a Canadian Cove PEI mussels. This is a signature poutine. This is the poutine we brought up before, really good. And for the vegans, a land green salad. PEI actually stands for Prince Edward Island mussels. Obviously a steakhouse known for its steaks. You can see the pricing and all the different cuts they have here. What they believe they are known for, what Sam and I really love, we've had previously, is the ribeye steak for two. It'll knock you back $120. Pretty pricey. This looks like you only get one sauce on one side with it. I wish you could get all the sauces. You can see all the different sauces right here. They actually have a sauce flight for an extra $9 that you can add. For enhancements, we have the truffle scallops, the hot honey garlic shrimp, and the Point Reyes blue cheese. For land and sea, you can see they have their classic filet mignon, a heritage chicken, sweet potato butternut, I'm not going to say that right, and a Canadian black cod. Sides, mashed potatoes, braised mushrooms, hand-cut pommes frites. We've never gotten these only because we always get the poutine. Glazed carrots, crispy Brussels sprouts, and of course macaroni and cheese. Look at that, it comes with smoked Gouda, applewood smoked bacon. That sounds so good. They still have some wines by the glass. You see there's a dessert wine right here. And you're in a wine cellar, so they should have a good selection of wines for you. They also have a whole book for the wine. Let's take a look at what they have. All right, so to the left, you can see all of the different wines that they have. I will scroll down lower so you can pause if you want to see them. This is a wine cellar. And then they do have some featured cocktails, like a Cellier Bloody Caesar, Ottawa Apple, Victorian Raspberry, a Windsor Old Fashioned, some interesting looking dessert wines. And you can see some whiskey. And then, of course, gotta have a few beers for the boys. All right, so I wanted to update you guys. I actually found out the steak for two, actually, you get two sides, two sauces, and their signature cut is actually the Le Cellier filet mignon. All right, so you got to start off with an excellent bread service if you're gonna be an excellent Epcot restaurant. And this is a Canadian-themed bread service. Two types of bread. What do they represent, Sam?
Okay, so the pretzel bread represents Ontario, which is known for hosting the world's second largest Oktoberfest. So they used to have a sourdough and a multigrain bread, but now it looks like they're doing a multigrain sourdough bread. And the multigrain bread represents the fact that Canada produces half of all the grain in North America. And the sourdough part represents the Yukon part of Canada, where they only get 3 hours of sunlight in the winter. So when the spring comes, they have a big sourdough festival, which sounds great. I want to go to a sourdough festival.
I'm hyped because they actually gave everyone their own butter. So I got a butter, Sam got a butter, Vicky got a vegan butter.
And it's still whipped with the maple syrup, so she gets the full experience. I didn't jip her out with her vegan.
Maple syrup is vegan. All right, Sam, which bread are you going to try first?
I already know that the pretzel bread is my favorite, so I'm going to go multigrain sourdough to start. I'll work my way up to the good stuff.
I think maybe you'll try this one, I'll try the pretzel, and then we'll see what Vicky thinks of the vegan butter.
You can see all those multigrain seeds in it. That's smooth. It has a lot of good air pockets on the inside, but it is filled with seeds. So if you don't like seeds in your bread, this bread is not for you. I'm gonna give this one a 7, but I know that pretzel one is a 10.
Look at all the salt on this log. Delicious log. Like, is it like a Canadian log of pretzel? These actually go really good in the cheddar cheese soup, which of course we had to get. I think I'm just gonna dip it in my butter. Or you know what? Let me just try it without the butter first.
I also think that they have a kid size of the cheddar cheese soup too, if you just want a smaller size to try it, because the soup is super filling.
The butter is like whipped, very creamy. There's a great crust around the top of the bread, and you see like little perforated air pockets. This might be the best bread service in Epcot. And the butter is like whipped, creamy, light, and the maple doesn't overpower the flavor. Sometimes if you have sugar, it can really like overpower everything you're eating. The bread shines through, and the maple butter just adds like a hint of sweetness that complements all the other flavors and textures that you're having.
And they're not overly salty either.
Yes. Even though it does have a decent amount of salt on it. I think this is very good. I'm going to give this a 9. I think dip it in the cheddar cheese soup might go 10 category. I can't wait to have that. But yeah, I'm going to give this a 9. Very good. I prefer the pretzels over the multigrain, but the multigrain's good too. All right, Vicky, it's time to try the vegan stuff out.
I'm excited. This looks delicious. I'm trying to get a little bit of the butter just to get the flavor. It's like,
as a vegan, like, what do you look for in a vegan butter?
definitely like savory, salty flavor, which this definitely has. I'm trying to pick up on the maple flavor, but
I feel like it's very light, and ours is light too.
Yeah, if you guys can hear Sam, she was saying that the maple flavor is light.
I can definitely tell there's a little sweetness in it, but it's not too much, which I actually like. So I would say that this is probably around an 8 for me. Overall, very good.
And all the breads are vegan too, which is great if you have people with dietary restrictions. Who would have thunk it at a steakhouse that it'd be great for vegans? All right, so we had to start with the soup. It is excellent. I think it's similar to the soup they usually have at Food and Wine. Sam, what's exactly in the cheese soup, the cheddar cheese soup?
This is Moosehead Pale Ale and applewood smoked bacon. And of course, Canadian cheddar, the main ingredient.
This is very good with the fresh pretzel rolls. Yeah, it's got a good cheese crust on it.
I'm pumped. I feel like it always tastes way better here than it does at the festival. Obviously, those festival booths are working with different cooking conditions than a full-service restaurant. It's like velvet. It's so smooth. It's not chunky, but it does have those bits of bacon, and the bacon gives it a like slight smokiness. It's perfection, this soup, and I'm going 10 because I don't think it could get better.
I'm going to try it out for myself, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to agree with you. All right, so they give you actually at Food and Wine some pretzel bread to dip in the soup, but here you could just use the bread that's at the table. Let's dip this in. This is the best way to have the soup. The pretzel bread absorbs into it so well. Delicious. 10 out of 10. Might be my favorite soup of all time. It has very sharp cheddar flavor. The bacon has a good amount of salty and like savoriness to it. It is a little bit salty. If you don't like salt, this might not be the thing for you. But it's got a great flavor, and the chives, there's also some chives in here that adds like a different texture to it. Creamy, delicious. It's a 10. All right, so it's time for the best poutine at Disney. This is the signature Cellier poutine. They put a Cabernet sauce on it, Sam, right?
Yeah, they pour it over when they come over to the table.
And this has hand-cut pommes frites, cheese curds, cheddar, and obviously the Cabernet Demi. This is definitely a fork and knifer. We got so many carbs, Sam. Ooh. I almost lost the cheese.
Yeah, and one of the demi is also one of the sauces you can get on the side of the steak. So our server recommended like getting a different sauce for our steak since we're having the demi on the poutine.
The curds are a little cold, which is what you want because you want like a hot exterior from the demi, a little cold kind of interior to contrast that texture. There's like a sharpness from the cheddar. The pommes frites are just perfectly crispy on the outside. Probably some of my favorite fries at Disney. In my opinion, this is the best poutine I've ever had. I'm going to go another 10. It's incredible. If you like poutine, if you're here, I highly recommend getting it. I love getting this every time I'm here. All right, so Vicky actually got a vegan version of their poutine that you actually can't really see on the menu. But Sam is going to try out the classic that I just had.
So much better than the outdoor festival poutine. That last time I had that, it was like ice cold, the poutine. Sometimes it has potential, but this is just always completely on point. And it is drenched. That red wine demi-glaze is all throughout. It's absorbing into the fries. The fries they're crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. 2 types of cheeses. It's perfect. It's another 10. Look at that cheese curd. Look at that big curd. I'm eating that curd.
I think this restaurant's going to score the most 10s out of our top 5. I really think it's going to hit number 1. I thought that before we started, and I am more secure that after these 3 things we just ate. All right, so we've retrieved the vegan poutine. Vegan cheese, shredded and cubed, with a vegan demi-glaze and the same pommes frites. Are you excited, Vicky?
Oh my gosh, so excited. I had a bite before, I'm not gonna lie, and it was delicious. The demi-glaze is like perfectly savory. The cheese is nice and pulley. I'm gonna have to go with a 9.
Yeah, ours was 10. No, do you get a sharpness from the vegan cheese?
It's not really too sharp. It's giving more of like a savory feel, which I love. The only reason it's not really a 10 is just because it's not as hot, I guess, or melty as like real cheese would be, but it's still delicious. I would highly recommend.
What about the creaminess? Is there a good amount of creaminess on here?
Oh yeah, the demi-glaze is like the perfect texture. It really complements the cheese and the potatoes. Definitely a solid 9.
Yeah, a great option for vegans. All right, so our entrees have arrived. We have gotten the ribeye for 2. Our candle already went out, but they actually light a candle that is made with beef fat right on top of it. We got it medium rare. We got a béarnaise sauce and the peppercorn sauce. We also got the carrots. I felt like we needed a vegetable. Everything was like super carby that we got. And I had to get the Gouda mac and cheese with the bacon.
Everything is so good.
Okay, so start with the steak, Sam.
I miss taking home steak for Frank, though. That part is making me a little sad.
I don't even feel like the two of us are going to finish this steak.
I'm full right now. The poutine and the soup is a very filling appetizer. I feel like you can come even just for that, like even if you don't want a steak. Did that. You want to get a little béarnaise?
You've become a fan of béarnaise since we've been to Flying Fish, I feel like.
I wasn't impressed with Chef de France béarnaise. It was kind of weak.
Their béarnaise is more tangy than Flying Fish.
It has more of a zest to it, but it's like buttery. Little, it has like a hint of lemon. The steak melts in your mouth. It has, look at the sear. Like it has a perfect sear. And I think that this is a good value because when you do the steak for two, you get 2 sides and 2 sauces, where the regular entrees you just get 1.
$120 altogether, so figure 60 a person, not bad.
For a quality meal, I think it's a good deal. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, I remember really liking this steak. All right, so carrots and mac and cheese. Which one do you think is going to be better, Sam?
I wonder. I have no idea. So this has Gouda. I think there's apple with smoked bacon. It looks like there's a little toasted breadcrumbs on top.
Interesting pasta choice here with the twists.
I like the shape. The cheese goes inside the holes.
It doesn't look like there's a lot of bacon in there, but the bacon really does kind of overpower the mac and cheese, which I like bacon, so I don't mind. But if you're not like a super bacon fan, like it's heavy. Like every bite just feels bacony. You get texture from those breadcrumbs. I also think Gouda is like such a good melty cheese, and I do like the choice of pasta that they use.
I'm gonna give this an 8.
Nice. Then there were carrots. These look like they were like fresh plucked from the garden greenhouses living with the land.
These are very pretty carrots. And then what are these?
I think they put some nuts on top of them.
Is it hazelnuts, I feel like?
It's something like that. We'll put a lower third in for you guys so you know exactly what they are.
These are good carrots. They're soft. They have a glaze on them too.
Very soft, you said, right?
Yeah, very soft. Nice. These are good carrots. I feel like the thing with the nuts is like they're kind of hard to stay on the carrot, you know? So it's hard to get the nuts in the bite with the carrot. They're good though. I'm gonna give these a 7.
All right. So far the weakest number, but everything else I think has been like 9 or 10. So.
I mean, carrots don't stand a chance against mac and cheese and poutine.
Steak. I'm excited. All right. So let's get a good cut. Oh, look at this. Look at that, nice and red. All right. Oh, look at that. This fell right off. Almost like a short rib or something. Jeez. I'm gonna try this with and without the sauce.
I wish we got the sauce flight. I'm kind of a little disappointed about that.
So they don't prepare the steak with any seasonings. That way, you know, the flavor of the steak shines through in the sauce. I do like a little saltiness. Like when I make a steak, I put a little salt on it. There's like nothing on it. It's just a great cut of steak though. Fall apart in your mouth. Let's try this peppercorn sauce. That's exactly what I wanted from that because it complements the fats and the savoriness of the steak. Also, like you said before, Sam, a great crust on the steak. I want to try your béarnaise sauce. Let's see how it goes with this. Definitely more of a lemon zest in the béarnaise. I am a bigger fan of the peppercorn sauce. I am going to give this steak, as far as a ribeye goes, I'm going to give it a 9. I agree 100%. Peppercorn sauce for me is the way to go. Great crust, smooth interior, just kind of melts in your mouth. And I mean, ribeyes, they can oftentimes be chewy, but this isn't chewy at all. And look at how thick this plate is. Look at how much ribeye they actually give you. I hope we can get through it because we actually are hanging out at Epcot a bit, so we actually can't bring this home. We usually like to bring stuff home. That'd be a great thing to bring home. Really good. All right, it's time for mac and cheese. Look at this. Crispy top. The cheddar here is so good. The mac is good. It has a good texture to it. I just think when you're eating that poutine, and the poutine is so sharp with that cheddar flavor, I think it overpowers that mac. The mac is creamy because it has the Gouda in it.
I feel like the bacon though is very forward.
They have great bacon here too. Mac is very good. I'm gonna give the mac an 8. I like it a lot. If it had shells in it, I might go 9. But I'm gonna stick 8 with it for now. Look at this. It looks like it's fresh plucked. Let's try it out. Good texture because the carrot's soft, nuts are crunchy.
It's hard to end with the carrot after everything else we had, though. I feel like the carrot just doesn't stand a chance. I feel bad because they are good.
Yeah, we should have started with the carrot. I'm gonna agree with your 7. Carrot's a 7. Everything else is excellent. I don't want to spoil the whole series, but I just really think that nothing. Maybe Space 220 our last visit. I just don't think they had bread like this, but I don't think anything can compare to, let's say, my opinion. All right, so we've retrieved the dessert menu. So you dessert to the top left here. Maple creme brulee Sam loves. We've never had this chocolate cheesecake, which you can see there's some hazelnut praline in it. So I think we might get that. For the vegans out there, they have a Victoria Garden sorbet. They have a Marion Berry Clophotis and a boutique collection. So this is like a few different ones. You can see their dessert wines and their after dinner drinks right here at the bottom. Top right are their coffees and espressos. They do have a press pot coffee. I might think about getting that possibly. They also have some loose leaf teas. And that's pretty much all of it. We got a dessert trio that's not on the menu. We just ordered 3 desserts, which definitely eyes bigger than our stomachs. This is the maple creme brulee. It has chantilly, gooseberries, and toulet. I hope I'm saying that right. Sam, are you ready for it?
I don't know. It looks so pretty. I really don't want to ruin it. I'm assuming everything they give you is edible because I'm never going to give you something that you can't eat. But that, I don't know.
I think it's more for aesthetics than anything. It looks golden.
Like it's out of my league.
Let's see how it cracks.
Oh my god.
Well, that's it.
I had to use some force.
That's a true crack.
The top is so crunchy. It's like the perfect crystallization. Oh my gosh. Very, very maple forward. It tastes like maple syrup. Like a creamy maple syrup with a crunchy, sugary top. So good. It is on the sweeter side, though. I'm gonna give this a 9.
Yeah, I remember you getting the creme brulee previously and being a huge fan of it. All right, so this is the mousse. It's actually on the kids menu. They offer this to us complimentary.
If you are celebrating something or under certain circumstances, they are allowed to gift you one. So you're allowed.
They actually have little maple leaf ears. Reminds me of Bowinkle.
It's really cute. This is like dark, bitter chocolate. It's so good. It's just a ball of mousse. Do we have little crunchies?
Looks like they have little Oreo crunchies right there at the bottom.
I'm gonna give them both a 9. They're both really, really good.
All right, so I'm gonna have my hand at the mousse. Look, they left me a perfect morsel of the bite, Sam.
It's bitter and smooth.
Perfect description. Bitter, smooth, light amount of sweetness. I'm gonna taste the maple leaves. Not maple flavor. Looks like white chocolate. I can do without them and the eyes. But the rest of this, man.
Those are just for aesthetics.
And you got the head. This is great. I'm gonna go 8. Not quite 9. I've had a much like richer mousses before. This isn't as rich as I usually a mousse is, but it's still really good. An 8 is a very high number. It's very high quality. It's not quite a 9 territory because there's just so much great mousse at Disney World. But this is definitely a great mousse.
For me, when something's free, I think it tastes better. That's just like a personal thing.
All right, this was my choice of dessert. It's the chocolate cheesecake. Sam, what is on this and in this?
Okay, so this is 65% Disney, something with a C, and then hazelnut praline and chocolate cremu.
All right, I'm gonna take. You gotta take. I feel like these things off first. Let's try this is just chocolate.
The chocolate shard like covered the cheesecake.
It's so thin, like melts in your mouth. Wow. Oh, it's so dark. Oh wow, that is so good. This might be one of my favorite Disney World desserts. The crust on the bottom of this is like crunchy, and then it's so smooth on top. And like this chocolate, and look at all the different texture. It's like multiple different types of chocolate.
It's like a Ferrero Rocher.
Exactly. Texture is smooth. You have multiple bits of like crunchiness with the crust and like the crunchy hazelnut. And the hazelnut's like toasted. Wow. I'm gonna go 10. Ferrero Rocher cheesecake. Delicious. Amazing. 10 out of 10. So that does it for our time dining at Les Cellier. Sam, is this the best restaurant at Epcot?
I'm gonna say that I feel really bad for Space 220 and the Sana and Hell Inn that are following this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to beat that.
I would say there's haven't been any surprises yet. I feel like everything is, we didn't bring up where the ranks were, but we talked about where we thought our rankings would be prior to filming this series. And I feel like everything is kind of sitting where I thought it would be at this point. I won't tell you where that is till the end. I think our last video is going to be Space 220. Wanted to bring up the interior decor in there. It's a lot of brown tones, very light lighting. Is that a real word?
Light? You mean dim lighting?
Dim lighting, there we go.
It's very cozy. There's also like a lot of like stone architecture on the interior.
Yeah.
It's just,
You can see the wine kind of sitting in the glasses. Where you guys were sitting in the booth, there's actually a little spot right above where you and Vicky were sitting, where it goes over some of these notable different leaves and foliage you could find in Canada. So a lot of attention to detail inside the interior aesthetic and architecture there, and that's something that really, I think, is exemplified in Disney. You want to be eating in a well-themed environment, and the service was exemplary. All these places have great service.
Canadians are just, they're a different breed. They're so friendly, and they just go with the flow so well.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing that you ate, Sam?
I think it was the poutine.
Yeah, me too.
Poutine was just
Poutine was number one. I think my favorite dessert was the chocolate cheesecake.
They were all so good. I was mixing the chocolate cheesecake and the maple creme brulee. It was heaven.
Yeah, everything's really good. So far, this is number one in my book, but we will see where everything ranks at the end. And if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Liking will really help our channel grow. It pushes this video out into the stratosphere of the YouTube algorithm, helps other people find the video. Subscribing, it also helps our channel grow. Hit the bell notifications, that way you're notified every time when videos come out, which is when, Sam?
Every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't count the days.
But make the days count.
We will see you next time. That's all, folks. I think it's worth it just walking into the Canada Pavilion to see this kind of scenic foliage, that little cottage in the background. They also have Kid Cot right back there where you see those people coming out. That's Canada Far and Wide. We've actually never seen Canada Far and Wide. I feel like we got to see that, Sam.
I wish the poutine was as good like outside of the restaurant, because that would be amazing to be able to get poutine like that on the go.
There's no poutine on property that's as good as that poutine, that's for sure. And it's going to be very hard for anything to beat our number one. I don't think you guys are going to be surprised, but you know, Space 220 may be it, because we had a very good meal there last time. But I think so far that restaurant has ranked up more 10s, I think, than any restaurant we've had at Disney recently.
Yeah, and also like everything is subjective. You know, if you like space, you might feel differently about Space 220.
Experience definitely is a huge factor. The people you see scrolling up on the screen, those are our members. If you have any interest in a membership, we do have tiers as low as $1.99 a month with differing perks like early access to videos and end credits credentials. We want to give a special thank you to our members for them and their generosity for helping us fund this channel. But we also want to give a special thank you to you and each and every single one of you who like, comment, subscribe, engage with these videos in any way. Helps us make more of them. We're incredibly privileged to be allowed to be at these parks and to film at them. And as always,
keep it going for Frank.